A young boy washes ashore on a deserted island. The ruins of an ancient society dot the lush landscape while rivers carve paths in the stone and wild animals feast on the fruits growing on bushes. With a red cape fashioned around his neck and a song in his heart, the boy explores the beautiful wasteland and solves puzzles to progress deeper into this mysterious world, all in the hopes of finding out who he is and why he's all alone. That description sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? RiME is a combat-free adventure that pulls from a plethora of games ranging from the unspoken narrative of Journey to the puzzle-solving of Ico and the ingenuity of the unfinished Swan. Pick your favorite recent puzzle-heavy indie darling, and there's probably some nod to it in RiME. But RiME proves that it's not always a bad thing when a game feels familiar. The first chapter of RiME has you climbing up ledges and swimming in the deep blue sea as you try to figure out what your purpose is. There's little in the way of a guiding hand in RiME, and I found these early moments enthralling. Unsure what I was supposed to do, I traipsed down every winding path just to see the beautiful views that awaited me. I picked giant orange fruits from bushes to befriend animals, and hunted for out-of-the-way pedestals where the odd collectibles were placed. It was aimless in all the right ways, an entire world with no rules just waiting to be explored. Before long, momentum and more confined level design push you from one puzzle to the next. Gone was the time spent lonely trekking down unknown paths. I missed that carefree beginning, but was soon engrossed in the myriad puzzles. Early ones have you sing to glowing orbs to release their hidden energy. Although figuring out how to progress was easy enough, it was still a joy because of how lovely the boys' voices and the accompanying orchestral score set a somber mood that kept me pushing onward. RiME often used its excellent artistic design and soundtrack to keep me engaged, even when the puzzles were rather simple. An early section had me finding lights to illuminate an invisible bridge. Without a song in which a woman sings while my boy hero hummed along, I might have grown bored by its simplicity, but I was completely invested because the audio-visual experience is so great. Unfortunately, RiME often undercuts its best aspect. There is a ton of slowdown in RiME. I don't care when games run at a consistent low frame rate, but big drops are incredibly annoying. There were dozens of sections marred by slowdown, often during cinematic moments when you're supposed to be swept away by the game's beauty and emotional resonance. It's a real shame too, because there's such strong visual design throughout the adventure. If you prefer playing handheld style, RiME performs about the same as it does when running on a television. This is a great game to lay down on the couch while playing because it's such a relaxing adventure. And the environmental clues that point you towards solutions are easy to see even on a smaller screen. Considering there's often a fox guiding you onward, you'll be searching for him just to see his furry face. Just try not to get too down about that pesky slowdown. Thankfully, the technical hit doesn't undermine the joy of exploring this unknown world. There are long stretches when you're figuring out a series of small puzzles that tie into one large one. These are some of my favorite moments in RiME. During one such case, a maniacal bird is out hunting this poor boy. He strikes from above whenever you step into the sunlight, and every time I was caught by my unstoppable pursuer, I jumped in my seat. These encounters were the one time during the course of the 10-hour adventure that the relaxing mood gave way to tension and fear. It took a few hours to complete this portion. As I triggered a lightning strike to give the bird a jolt, unearthed hidden passageways beneath the waters, and jumped between ledges just beyond the reach of his beak, I felt a thrill that was a welcome shift in tone. There are achievements in RiME. I'm not ashamed to admit that the one thing I would change about the Switch is a built-in achievement system, so I was glad that my small triumphs were documented. The optional collectibles also helped draw me deeper into this journey. I unlocked small toys, alternate clothing, and pictures that detailed my adventures and hinted at untold stories. These are the collectibles I most enjoy hunting for in games. Items that flesh out the story, characters, and world, but don't burden you with the daunting prospect of finding every one. I was fine finding only a handful of the many scattered across the varied landscapes, and was more than fulfilled with how the story played out. I won't spoil anything, but the ending was moving in ways that are all too rare in gaming. Despite having so many positive things to say about RiME, I wasn't captivated like I was by its more accomplished peers. The puzzles were unique and well thought out, but lacked that bit of creativity that makes me mutter in amazement when I finally figure out a solution. With only so many possible options, getting past a blockade was more or less a guessing game, a tiny roadblock that usually required no more than a few minutes of thought to complete. I also wish RiME wasn't so on the nose in its references to other games. There's a figure cloaked in red who appears at random points who might as well be one of the nameless heroes from Journey. It's not a bad thing to see a nod to a beloved game, but I wish RiME had more of an identity of its own. The way you can hum and shout felt like Wander calling for his horse in Shadow of the Colossus, and the interior sections could have been deleted scenes from Ico. Again, if you're going to make homages to other games, the team at Tequila Works couldn't have picked better inspirations. I just wish there was more here that was purely RiME. I admit I have a soft spot for quiet adventures. There are few things more exciting to me than being lost in a digital world, where I have to figure out the rules, objectives, and the story by poking and prodding until the game reveals its secrets. RiME has so much joy in its discovery, beauty in its visuals, and serenity in its music that I was hooked the entire time. Even though I may struggle to remember the finer details in RiME years from now, I still liked it a lot, and I'm glad it made its way to Nintendo's platform.